on pregnancy and childbirth, Jewish, Muslim, and Hindu. Babies, they are a joy. We all love babies. So why are babies so important? Well, first, we all started off as babies. Without babies, the human race could not continue. They are wondrous miracles from conception to birth, and babies are our future. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. We all started off the very same way. From the moment of conception to 9 months later to birth, nothing is different. But what is different? Where we live. We live north, south, east, or west, in the city, in the country, hot climates, cold climates, where seasons change. Who we are. We're men, we're women, we're fat, we're short, we're young, we're old, we're single, we're married. And what we believe. We're Christians, we're Catholics, Muslims, Hindus, Jewish, atheists, agnostics, or don't even know. So we're going to take a look at 3 different religious views on pregnancy and childbirth. The Jewish faith. Some facts. The Jewish faith was founded in 2500 BC. There are approximately 14 million Jews in this world. They are located mainly in Israel, Europe, and the U.S. Spiritual leaders are considered not called rabbis. Their place of worship are in temples or synagogues. The day of worship is on Saturday. They are monotheism. They believe in one God, Yahweh. The purpose of life is to be obedient to God, and they live to obey the law and atone for their sins. And they have a various view of afterlife, such as Gehenna, non-existence, or even reincarnation. Jewish pregnancy is considered a mitzvah. That's a good deed, making a large name. Jews believe that what the Old Testament says in Genesis 1:28, to be fruitful and multiply. Children are considered a gift and a duty to fulfill the Old Testament to multiply. Baby showers aren't given due to it's considered to be bad luck for the baby. Jews follow strict dietary laws, a kosher diet. Meat and dairy do not touch and or not eat together. In fact, they cannot drink any dairy an hour to 6 hours after they have eaten meat. They will consult with a rabbi on fasting during Jewish holidays. And to name the baby, well, they have to announce the boy's name during his circumcision and 9 days, and the girls' names are announced in synagogues. Jewish childbirth. When a woman is in labor, they are considered to be in mortal danger up until 3 days after birth. Nida is a time of physical separation. That's where the onset of contractions or bloody show. During this time, the husband cannot physically touch his wife due to biblical law. Can only verbally give comfort to his wife. Husbands recite the book of Psalms to comfort her. They also prefer female doctors. If they're going to use a male doctor, there has to be special rules to be followed. Husbands will not view the birth. Jewish law does not allow a husband to see his wife's genitals. Women need a gown to cover both the front and back They are very modest, and they may even want to have something be kept over their head. Some facts. Muslims was founded in 622 CE. There are about 1.3 billion followers. That is the second largest religion in the world. They are mainly located in the Middle East and North Africa. Spiritual leaders are called imam. Their place of worship is called a mosque. They're strict monotheist. Allah is what they call God, their God. Purpose of life is to submit to the will of Allah and to attain paradise after death. They live to follow the Quran, Hadith, and the 5 pillars of Islam. Believe the resurrection of the body and the soul, which will be followed by either eternal paradise or hell. Muslim pregnancies. They believe that all babies have the right to be born. Pregnancy and children are considered a female issue. A woman is to indulge in her cravings. Males, babies are a preference. If the woman is carrying the baby high, they believe it to be a girl. No, it's a boy. God decides the size of their family. Other female relatives help women when pregnant. There are no prenatal classes. And they will not eat pork products, or anything that is bloody, so they will not eat a rare steak. Muslim childbirth. Dayas is a midwife or neighbor who helps with the childbirth. Prefers female doctors. Male-female touching is not allowed unless it is an absolute emergency. She'll wear her hijab, her habib, throughout labor and delivery, and it's important to maintain her modesty and chastity. Fathers are not allowed in the delivery room. Hindu faith and some facts. It is the earliest form of religion dating back somewhere 1500 BC or even earlier. There are 900 billion followers. That's the 3rd largest religion in the world. Located mainly in India, also the United Kingdom and the United States. Spiritual leaders are called gurus and sages. Place of worship is in the temple or a home shrine. They're pantheist with polytheist elements, which means they have more than one god. The purpose of life is to attain liberation from the cycle of reincarnation. They believe and they live according to Dharma. Belief in karma being unresolved, and a person should be born into a new body. If karma is resolved, they attain moksha, which is liberation. Hindu pregnancy. They believe that from the moment of conception equals rebirth. Prayers are offered regularly for healthy babies. Grandmothers, mothers, and in-laws are considered experts. Pregnancy is considered a social and religious event. Rituals are performed to protect unborn from evil spirits. Some pregnant women will only eat rice milk and drink hot water, and therefore they have a high anemic rate. They're told to work hard and eat less to prepare for childhood and motherhood. Well, childbirth and motherhood. There's a ceremony, Punsavana, done during the 3rd to 4th month to invoke divine qualities in the child. Another is to offer prayers because it is believed that the soul enters the baby's body. Women wear red and green and colored bangles and odd numbers to ward off evil spirits. They also believe that there's a balance between hot and cold. When a woman is pregnant, she's considered to be in a condition of being hot, and she will eat cold food for balance. At the end of her pregnancy, she will eat hot foods to help induce pregnancy or childbirth. Hindu childbirth. There is a preference over female doctors. They are not accustomed to male doctors. Men are usually not present at childbirth, but it is not unusual if they do attend. The birth of a son equals blessing. The birth of a daughter equals worry and concern, and that's due to the dowry that will be given when she marries. And they will withhold their feelings during labor and delivery. Some comparisons. Prayer has been an important part of the life of the Hindu, the Muslims, and the Jews. Every step of the way they have prayed over the baby. Also, they're very superstitious, and it's very relevant in their life in all three religions. And whether it's folklore, wives' tale, whatever you want to call it, they believe strongly in it. They all follow a form of diet, either from superstition or governed by religious laws. This is primarily a female event without much male intervention. Men tend to stay out of pregnancy and childbirth, and modesty is incredibly important to all three of these religions. All three of them do not name their babies immediately. The Jewish, they wait till the 8th day when they circumcise the baby, the boy that is, and they name him then. And then for the girls, they'll read her name for the first time on the first Sabbath day in the synagogue. Muslims, they wait a few days, and then they get advice from family members, and then the dad will whisper the baby's name for the first time in his ear. And the Hindu, they wait 10 days after birth, and then they have a naming ceremony. Talk about some contrasts now. As far as fasting, Jewish women normally have to consult with their rabbis if they're going to fast on religious holidays. Muslim women can choose whether they'll fast during Ramadan or not. And Hindu women, well, there was no issue on fasting with them. Then prenatal care. Jewish women are more apt to seek prenatal care and have prenatal classes than the Hindu and Muslims. They also have a lot of genetic disorders that they get tested for, and that's probably the reason for that. Muslims and Hindus receive prenatal care from their mother-in-laws. They are like the go-to people, and they tell them everything they need to know. And then diet. The Jewish have their kosher laws. Muslims have halala, which they're not allowed to have anything pork products, anything that has anything containing any form of pork, and special meats cut by Muslims themselves. Hindu women tend to be vegetarians. They believe that helps them with their spirituality. Now we're going to talk about preservation and maintenance. The Jewish and Muslims, these diets meet the recommended daily allowance, but we do, however, have to stress the importance of calcium because of the milk and meat issue with the Jewish women, and finding substitutes while pregnant. Also give a list of what is needed during pregnancy, educating women on what their body needs during pregnancy, and something that should be done no matter what diet they're in, no matter who they are. Every woman needs to know the proper nutrition while she is pregnant. Also help to maintain their modesty throughout birthing experience. There is no reason why we could not do that with just covering them up. This is not a hard task. Modesty is important to all three of these religions and must be maintained to the best of our ability. That is not a difficult thing to do. Accommodation and negotiation. Well, between the Jewish, Muslim, and Hindu, the naming. They don't name their babies right away, so we need to find out what our state law is. and find out what needs to be done and help them through that, so that when it is time to name the baby, that they can fill out that birth certificate as needed. Repatterning and reconstruction. There were so many things to choose from, so many crazy stuff that goes on in these religions, but they all are very superstitious during pregnancy, and we need to teach them the facts and what is folklore and wives' tales. Some of the examples: the Jewish, they know giving the gifts before the baby is born, and they believe that'll bring bad luck to the baby. The Muslims, they're supposed to stay inside the house for 40 days after the baby's born. They believe if they leave the house, or she leaves the house with the baby, either her or the baby will become sick. Hindu, that they need to work harder, do more chores, and eat less in order to prepare their body for childbirth and labor. I can tell you, that is not the way to. And these are just some possible nursing interventions. We need to teach. Education is our top priority in everything that we do as nurses. But teach them the changes that are happening in their bodies. These are awesome things that are going on. That formation of that baby, the formation of the placenta, what happens during the first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. These women need to be educated. Teaching them how to care for themselves properly. What is folklore? What is superstition? What is real? What is scientifically proven? And when superstitions can harm them, teach these patients the danger or harm that superstitions can cause, like drinking rice milk and drinking in hot water. There's a low anemic rate among the Hindu Indians in Asia due to them not consuming the proper foods. And teach them about, of course, adequate nutrition and rest and all things they do with being pregnant. These things are so vital. And there's so many things that you can talk about on education and what to do. But those are just some of the top ones that I had thought of. And this is my presentation. Thank you.